You set my body, all of my body on fire.
I melt in your hands, soaked in sweat when we dance. I fall to my knees, baby. Wanna get you alone now, not ready to ignite. I want us to go home now, now turn up every light, baby. Burn me to ashes, then I rise, then I rise.
You set my body, all of my body. You set my body, all of my body on fire. You set my body, all of my body. You set my body, all of my body on fire. You set my body, all of my body. You set my body, all of my body. You set my body, all of my body. You set my body, all of my body on fire. You set my body, all of my body. You set my body, all of my body on fire.
Shut down in my brain, don't know what to say. Too much chemistry, baby. Wanna get you.
What's going on, fam? It's Gene, aka LS Turbo Integ, and welcome to my channel. And in this video, we're going to install RaggDollMotorsports Diverter Valve, also known as a blow-off valve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do a step-by-step process on how to install this diverter valve on my Porsche Cayman 718. So just in case, for those who don't know, you got to have a turbocharged motor for you to install this diverter valve. So all you 4.0 Caymans and Boxsters, this does not include you. So because I do have everything already taken out, because I did send my intake cover to Mylar Designs out in Las Vegas, I'm gonna see if I can find a video where I actually take the OEM engine cover out. I believe I still have some footage of that, so let me see if I can pull that up for you guys. Fam, thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. It's really helping the content grow. With that said, fam, if you like the content, please consider subscribing. Hit those post notifications. That way, every time I drop my videos, you guys will be notified. And if you guys have any questions or any comments, be sure to post them below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Also, you guys can follow me on Instagram at LSTurboInteg. So fam, don't forget to hit those post notifications. That way, when I drop the videos for the intercooler and the RaggDoll Series 2 Turbo install, you're not gonna wanna miss that. We're getting there, fam. Let's get to work. But here it is, guys. Let's go ahead and open it up. All right, got a cool sticker. And here's the horn. And I do have a dual horn that was shipped separately. Let me go grab that for you guys. And here it is, guys. This is the dual horn with the attachment. And here's the cap. And this cap is used for those who don't want to vent into atmosphere and get that infamous blow-off sound. So you can actually cap it off by using this cap. And very well packaged. Comes in a nice foam insert. And here's the diverter valve. Pretty well designed. You know, let's pop that horn on. There you go. What do you guys think? Very well constructed. Just want to give you guys a nice overview of what it looks like. Gotta love the design, right? It's got some nice weight to it too. And for those wanting to know how the dual setup works, there's a set screw here. Gonna take that out. Like so. This bottom piece then screws off. You'll then take this piece, insert it inside. That is your dual horn setup. And we're going to show you what that looks like once it's installed. And like I said, fam, for those that don't want to vent into atmosphere and get that whooshing sound, you're just going to take the horn off and replace it with the cap. Just unscrew it, take the horn off, and then screw this cap on. Easy peasy. Also note there's an O-ring on the horn. You do not need to remove that and put it on the cap. You could screw the cap directly onto the diverter valve. Alright, one last look of the single horn before we install it.
Alright, so since Gene actually has a lot of his panels already removed for his cage and his carbon fiber, we don't want to mess that up. It's real simple to start taking out the rear area. You're actually going to do this if you do your air intake filter as well. So this is kind of a DIY for that as well. So these actually just pop off. And this is for both platforms, whether it be 981 or the 718. So those will both pop off. The same thing with this. This is actually just held in by 4 little clips. Yep. It's right here. And you want to be very careful of whether it's the plastic one or carbon fiber, just to make sure that you do keep all your clips and everything is intact here. You want to keep that. And with the seats removed, this is actually a lot easier now. So you're actually going to have 4 T30 screws here to hold it in your bar and this plastic piece. You're also going to have a T30 on each side for your side pockets. So we'll go ahead and remove those now. And once your 2 screws are out, the panels are actually going to slide forward and up and out. And one thing to note, to pay attention to, these panels do have little plastic anti-vibration caps on them.
Is that what those are? Oh yeah, I already lost them.
Yep, so we are missing one there. It's always double good to check, make sure that it didn't fall anywhere, and there it is.
Oh, sweet.
So there's that one. Those are about 45 cents a piece, I think. They may have went up since then. Available only at your local Porsche dealership. There's those. And one thing to note, whenever you do put it back in, if you can tell, with these loose, this does move back and forth, the same as this black plastic. So if you're very OCD and you put this panel back in and you notice that there's a bigger gap on this side than this side, or this side versus that side, you may have to take your panels back off, that's right here, and just adjust and you know, get it back to where you like it. I've seen some people where, you know, they've actually fussed about like the plastic panel gaps aren't exactly perfect and even. But just letting everybody know that they can move and, you know, self-adjust.
Good tip.
That comes off. This will pop up, and like I said, just double check, make sure you're keeping all your little tabs and screws. And just like that, your carpet will pull right out.
I just realized we didn't have to remove the V-bars on the roll cage.
Nope, and whenever we put the clear engine cover in, we will not have to remove it either. All right, and all of those are also held in by T30s all the way around the engine.
I got that in.
This is always the fun one to get to because it is under the bracket.
Yeah. So far, everything Matt's been doing, you guys, is basically for those that are interested in cleaning their air filters or replacing them. This is exactly the same steps you would have to follow to get to the engine compartment.
And this is actually what Porsche does to actually do the same process. So.
And that's why they charge you an arm and a leg to go to the dealership, because this is, you know, the process you have to do. So it's not like we're doing anything different.
We're just giving you a behind the scenes look.
Yeah.
Porsches are really simple. Some of the oddities that you'll find is on the cars that I've taken apart, 16, 18s, there is a few 15 millimeters, you know, so it's going to be all your oddballs. You know, everybody's used to 10, 12, 14, 17, 19.
Yeah.
But Porsches do use the 15, 16, and 18s. And just like that, you want to lift up from the back, slide, and normally this would slide out the back, but we're sliding it out the front.
Yep, especially with the front seats out, guys. All right, for those who don't know what the turbocharged flat floor looks like. Keep in mind my intake cover is gone since I removed it and sent it to Mylar Designs to get it redone in blue reflective carbon fiber. But this is what it would look like once you take the cover off. Whenever you're washing your filter out, or for those who have a stock filter, if you're replacing them. And here's the RaggDoll Motorsports Intercooler, and I will be swapping this out to their larger core version, which I'll post some pictures of what that looks like, but it's super nice. So right there, that's the diverter valve. As you can see, here's one connection here. There's that smaller line right here. Hopefully you guys can pick this up, but it does plug into the side of the intake box. So it looks pretty straightforward, fam. Let's go ahead and get started on this. All right, guys, for starters, I think we're gonna go ahead and start with this hose here. Instead of disconnecting it here, I think it's easier to disconnect this piece, then disconnect from the intake box, and then we can get to that little skinny vacuum line. So I'm not sure what kind of a clamp is holding it in place. So let's disconnect this. Just take your pliers, squeeze, pull to the side. Let me move this line out of the way. All right, once you get that off, just slide it off like so. All right, guys, and for the top piece, all you have to do is pull it out. I don't know if I have enough room, just because my intercooler is right here. I could probably just pull it to the side and then yank on it. Let me try that. Oh yeah, there you go, guys. Okay, so all you have to do is pull it pretty hard and it'll pop right out. I think I read somewhere some of you guys were trying to take this off right here while it was in the back. Maybe that's why you guys were having issues. But you could just yank on it and it comes right out. And now I can get a better view of how to take this off. I think that just comes off right off the top here. Boom, look how easy that was. All right, guys, here's this piece here. And the orientation was, if you're looking at it from the top side, that's how you're looking at it. So I'm just gonna turn it sideways just so it's in front of me. And the orientation of the blow-off valve is going to be like this. Okay, I'm gonna take this will reattach here. So we're gonna take this off first. All right. Should be able to just slide this off. Following along, guys. All right, guys, once this comes out, you'll take your diverter valve, plugs in here, like so. And then this will go back into the air box. Slide this on. Just like that, guys. And we're gonna plug this in into the box. Horns facing down. I disconnected that for a second. I didn't want to break it. All right, just like that. All right, guys, so we're gonna slide this in. All right, guys, just to reiterate, on the guys who have the factory intercooler, because I can't put this in, but I did show you how to take everything out. It's just reverse order. Just remember, instead of this, I'm gonna show you the orientation again. The intake box, if you're looking at this with the doll facing you, this is the side that plugs right back into the intake box, which would be this plug here. All right, I put it back together. Just remember, you don't have to disconnect this at all, guys. Just take this, tilt it down, and pull it out. The only thing holding it together into the air intake box is this cone lip. That's it. Just keep in mind there's a notch here, so make sure you line that up when you plug it back in. So once you take everything out, you'll take everything out in one piece, right? You'll take this off, take this off. Remember the orientation. This bottom piece is what plugs back into the intercooler. So if you're looking at it, it looks just like this. So the orientation for the blow-off valve is this. Make sure the dowel is facing you, and this bottom piece goes back onto your hose, which is lined up with the L going this way, okay? And then this, you'll plug back into this. And then of course that smaller vacuum line will plug right into that. I found it having this whole unit was easier to push back in, because all you're trying to do is get this lip to go inside the intake box. Now if you did the opposite and you plug this in first, you'll have to have these vice grips on, which pretty much there's really no room, because you need to be able to get this lip through. Kind of hard trying to push it in there with this vice grips in the way. There's just no room. You could try it and see if you have luck with it, but I just found it easier with it installed already. I also installed this in first, was able to line up the notch, and once it was in, because of this part right here, you have to get it under and then over. So can you imagine trying to do all this in that tight space that we're already working with? Okay, I guess another option is you can probably take this off. You could probably plug this back in and then reclamp it and then try to shove this in. The only problem is, like I said, you're gonna have the wrench here and this. It's very tight in there, so my suggestion is maybe try it this way first. All right guys, to do the dual horn, you'll have to take the bottom part off. There's a set screw here that you'll have to take off. So let's go ahead and do that. There it is. Okay, you're gonna disconnect this like so. You're gonna reuse the black ring inside and install it into the second horn like so. All right, then just simply put it back together, pushing it down. That is your dual horn, guys. Now what was plugging into the air intake box, which was this piece, you're no longer gonna use. Vince is still designing a cap to plug off on the intake box. So as soon as he sends that out to me, I'll show you guys that part. But basically, you're gonna take this pipe here, it's gonna plug right in here, and this other end back into your intercooler. And then your vacuum line that plugs in on top, and that's it. Dual horn, let's put it in. All right guys, just plug your small vacuum line back in. I'm gonna drop this through like so. Take your hose, make the connection there. Then you're gonna take this line, slide it back on, and there you go. I believe Vince is gonna make some kind of bracket for this to be held in place. That way it's not interfering with anything with the intake box here. Once I put the cover back on, as you can see, I just have to slide this clamp back on and we are connected pretty much. And then just, I gotta put that back on. And again, like I said, Vince will be making a cap that'll cover the intake box. That way it's just not open. So I'm not gonna put anything yet. I'm just gonna leave as is since I'm not driving the car. But that is what your dual horn blow-off valve from RaggDoll Motorsports is gonna look like. Super easy to put in. Actually, I think it's easier than the single because I didn't have to reconnect anything back into the intake box. Guys, this is for the dual horn setup. Now, if you don't want that full audio coming out of two horns on an aftermarket intercooler setup, all you have to do is remove one of the horns. I highly recommend using this one here and capping it off with the included cap. So the people running an aftermarket intercooler, you can run a single blow-off valve with this setup. So what you're gonna wanna do is, same orientation guys, you're gonna plug it in, horn facing up, nipple on the side, that way you can just connect right to it. And there's your single option. It'll look like that if you guys are looking at it. I'm pretty sure if you pointed this down, the audible will be a lot different as well. The only difference is you're gonna have to take that line and plug it in here. Let me see if that's possible. That way I wanna give you guys all kinds of options. Let's give it a try. All right, so this is gonna be for guys running an aftermarket intercooler and running a single horn. Let's see if it fits correctly. And like I said, we're gonna fire the horn down. Maybe it'll give it a different audio. I won't know. I'll actually create a separate video with all the audio sounds, but for now, these are just all the installation videos to verify whether things fit or not. All right, so I got the, probably have to disconnect from down here, but this vacuum line will come across. It shouldn't interfere with the intake box, and this will sit just like that. And down here, plugs right back in. Yeah, guys, we should be good to go like that too. There you go. In case you guys don't want to run dual horn and you got an aftermarket intercooler, I know Chelsea's running his closed off. He has no blow off sound at all. He's got it capped off. For those that want the sound, you can still install it with a single horn. Unfortunately, you can't run a single horn while trying to recirculate back into the intake box. It won't fit. The blow off valve is too fat sideways. It won't fit at all. That was one of the things we were trying to decide if it can be done. And so after I tried, it's just not gonna work. So just to reiterate, guys who have an aftermarket intercooler, you can run a blow-off valve, but you can't run it like a normal intercooler setup. It won't fit, it's too big. You can't turn it sideways, or you can't replumb back into the intake box. What you can do is you can run a single horn or a dual horn configured this way. So you do have two options, and really it's just the difference of your audio likes. I think you can also, let's see if we can flip this the other way. All right, I've got the horn firing up. Just a matter of plugging the hose in, plugging this piece back in. And there you have it. You can fire the horn up. And this just gives you another option, whether you want to fire it downward or upward. I'm not really sure of the audible difference. Like I said, I'll have to do that on a different video. But right now, these are just installation options as far as how you want to run these. What do you guys think? So I have the option to run a single horn or a dual horn. Vince is sending me the intake plug, so I won't have to worry about that. That'll just plug up the box, because we can 100% vent into atmosphere with these turbo engines with no issues whatsoever. Pretty clean. All right, guys, just to reiterate, unfortunately for the guys who have aftermarket intercoolers, because the core is much larger, it's taking up a good inch of space. Actually, I can't even get it in. It's just stuck like that. Like there's no room to get it in and then flat, like so. Hopefully that makes sense. It's just hitting. It only makes sense for the guys with the aftermarket intercoolers to run it as a single horn or the dual horn like I showed you guys. You still have your options there. So as long as we don't have to recirculate back into the intake box, I don't see why you guys would want to try to reroute it that way anyway. So this is an easier installation. I would just stick with that. All right, I think that's gonna do it for the installation video. Hopefully I gave you guys several options on how to install the RaggDoll Motorsports diverter valve. But if you guys have any questions or any concerns, you guys can reach out to Liza, Vince, or myself. Guys, just post your questions down below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. If I don't have the answer, I'll reach out to Liza or Vince. Also guys, stay tuned. I finally got the RaggDoll Motorsports door decal in a glossy carbon fiber finish. Also got Liza's doll that she designed and created. Look how freaking sick that looks. And the second doll is actually going to be a mirror reflection, so it's actually going to face the other way. But as you can see, it is glossy carbon fiber. And in case you're wondering, this is where the placement is going to be for the doll on the door. This is the driver's side, as you can see, and it'll say RaggDoll Motorsports down the door. And on the passenger side, it'll be a mirror image, so it's going to be reverse. That way the doll's facing forward. And if that don't make sense to you, this is the passenger side, so you can see what I'm talking about. So she'll be looking the other way. Stay tuned for that video, guys. Super excited. All right, another project in the books. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. You guys are really helping my channel grow. So guys and gals, thank you so much. So fam, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. Hit those post notifications. That way every time I drop my videos, you guys are gonna be notified. And if you guys have any questions or any comments, be sure to post them below. Also, you guys can follow me on Instagram at LSTurboInteg. All right, until the next video, have a blessed and wonderful day. Peace.